Everybody, this is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioners Clubhouse and the LCC Network for Week 8 of the 2021 season. Happy Halloween, everyone. We are here. It is spooky season, and because of that, we got a special guest, but of course, we've got Mafali back on the show and Jordan. That's right, we pulled him away because it's a non-baseball day. That's the only way we were able to get him on. We had to work it out in his contract, but we also got Cody on the show. What's going on, you guys?
What's up? Hola.
Glad to be here.
We got the gang.
Yeah, you know, the Braves are in the World Series, man. First time since 1999. I couldn't record on that day. I had to be glued to the TV.
Even though we lost.
Understandable. Basically,
Yeah.
the first time in your adult life.
Yeah.
There's priorities, and they have been set.
Honestly, probably like the first time in Cody's like memorable life. Like what, Cody? You were born in 95, 96?
94.
You were 94? Wow. I
Wow.
thought you were a year younger than me.
You thought wrong, Steve.
I thought wrong. So yeah, you could remember 99
I'm
still.
actually older than you, Steve.
You're right. Damn. I forgot about that.
You're the baby on the show.
I don't know.
Jordan was born in 88. He's the oldest.
That's not true.
That's not true. No, but no, we got a good episode like always, guys. We've got our news and notes, of course. We got our game of the week. We've got all 12 matchups from around the LCC, and back by popular demand. Not really though, because no one asked for it, but I just missed it a lot, and I'm glad to bring it back. We have got our very own sound drops back.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
That's right. We brought it back, and we're pumped about it. So anyways, I guess we'll just go ahead and get business started here with our news and notes from around the league. It's a short list tonight, so maybe that means we'll have a shorter episode or be able to talk more about each matchup. But Mafali, I'm going to let you take the lead on this.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're gonna try to do the trades pretty quick tonight. Just trying to go back to when. Oh.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. That was perfect,
gosh, that's gonna take some getting used to still, because I thought it was something like on my computer. I was going to look like I thought another tab popped up on my laptop and it was some stupid ad or something. Then I was like, oh, it's Pat messing with me. Okay.
No, I'll play it in the background so build intensity. Here we go. It's all yours, Mafali.
Oh, I'm ready to go. I just wanted to hear the whole thing. I'm ready to go. So let's see. The first trade here was third leg. He received Emmanuel Sanders and a 9th rounder, and gave up Jalen Phillips, a rookie he wanted to get rid of, and a 6th rounder with myself. And then we made another trade again because me and Charles, that's just what we do. We make trades on the reg. Me and Charles get down like that.
You guys really do.
I traded Von Bell, and he gave me Chase the Legend Claypool and a 2022 7th rounder. And then I made another trade because it's pretty much the theme of this, I guess. And then I traded David Long and the 2022 7th to Hunter of Champions for Rashawn Evans and a 2022 5th. And then I traded Daquan. I traded Damian Harris and DeForest Buckner and Terrell Edmonds, and I got back Mark Ingram, Stephon Tuitt, and a 2023 2nd. Daquan really tried to go all out there, tried to add some more depth and some starters, especially because Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hurt. So, I like to see what Daquan does now. We're going to talk later about playoff stuff, and he's definitely in that mix. We finally have another trade here, not involving me, which is nice to see. 2 girls, 1 cup. Made a trade with the third leg. I mean, I know it's just today, but likely won't be seeing many counters. I think everybody's pretty set with what they have. He traded Amari Cooper and a 2023 6th rounder for Emmanuel Sanders and a 2023 5th rounder. So Charles adding some wide receiver help, even though he already has Hopkins. And then Patrick, our boy here, just made a trade, I see, with his dad. Gotta love it. His dad's made 2 trades today. We'll get to the next one
He
soon.
did.
He traded, or you traded, Pat. You traded Myles Gaskins to your dad, the Eastside Brawlers, for Alex Collins in a 2022 third. So nice job on your part. Maybe, getting a pick bag that you had originally
Yeah.
given up for Gaskins, who you don't really need anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you already have your guy. And then your dad also just made the big trade with myself, which I don't know. I don't think it really gets countered because your dad is a tough guy to trade with. And once I think he was set on this, I think he's set. But I traded away Kenneth Murray, Jabril Peppers, and a 2022 second and a 2022 seventh for Blake Martinez and a 2022 fifth. So clearly you could tell I really like Blake Martinez, and your dad got plenty back for him. So,
Yeah.
Big trade for both of us. If I didn't have as many picks as I did, obviously, I don't think that would have made that deal. But having as many picks as I do, it definitely gave me the flexibility to go make a move like that. And, I was down for it. So always down for a move, basically.
You know what's funny is he called me and he was like, "Hey, do you think he would do this for a second round pick?" And I was like, honestly, if there's anyone that would do it for a second round pick, it's probably him because he has them all almost like.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But is that it?
I didn't want to give up the straight second rounder, so I tried to, that's why we did the 5th for the 7th swap where I moved up a little bit in the mid rounds, and I love those picks for rookie picks, so I was happy about that.
Yeah, get another Trevor Lawrence. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Nah, he was a second round, but no, that was probably my biggest mistake this year, looking back, other than maybe passing on Najee Harris after making so many friggin' trades.
He hasn't been that bad.
Oh man, no. The worst thing for me has been 2 things. One, that I lead the MFL, the entire league, in points against. That's been strike 1. Strike 2 is that I've also traded pretty much any relevant player that I've had all year.
Well, yeah,
So
I mean,
not like I'm really feeling bad for myself. So just happy to be making trades. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that whole segment would have been shorter if we did who didn't Steve trade.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. You would have had a quick little boom boom, and we would have been out.
All right. So is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's good. We're
All
done.
right.
Unless everybody listening probably be listening either tomorrow morning or maybe late tonight after midnight. But the deadline's up. So if you didn't make a deal before midnight or whatever the deadline time, you pretty much, I guess, beat at this point. So hopefully you guys, good luck to all the playoff teams from
Yeah.
a team that's
Well,
gonna maybe go winless. So
Speaking of playoffs,
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
that's Mafali right now, guys. He is right now tied in a big tie for the second longest losing streak in league history, over multiple seasons. That is, he's only we said 2 weeks or 2 games, 2 losses away from tying the
you have 2 losses
longest.
away. I'm at 9 losses.
Oh
9
man,
straight.
I really don't want you to break it, but you would be
Oh, we
rewriting
would, but-
history if you did.
Yeah, it would, but I have a bad feeling it's gonna.
I think you're
I
gonna
can
win.
beat CJ, but it's gonna take some luck, and I haven't had much this year. But maybe it waited to the last moment to kick in for me to get that win.
I
So
think
we'll see.
you got a shot. You got a shot.
That's all we need.
That's right. Do we want to go real quickly? I think I want to set the picture, and we don't have to go into depth of this at all. In fact, I don't even have the photo ready for the podcast, but I figured we could list off, if the season ended today, who would be in the LCC Playoffs of 2021. We can start with Conference A. The number 1 seed would be Charles, and which is the 3rd leg, that is, would play the winner between the 3rd seed of the Hash Slinging Slashers and the 6th seed of Abusement Park. And then on the other side of this, number 2 seed, Detroit Bad Boys, would play the victor between Beg for G-Rag, who's the 4th seed, and Mr. 300, the 5th seed. In Conference B, myself, Robot Leprechauns, would be the number 1 seed, play the winner between number 3 seed, Lobotard Lobos, and the 6th seed, the Afternoon Delights, and that's Jordan, Oh. I almost missed the opportunity to do this. And we have the number 2 seed in Conference B. The Spurs play the winner between Once a Janitor, who's the 4th seed, and Step Bros Fantasy Company, the 5th seed. And I can't believe I'm saying that. He would be the 5th seed. But his team has surprised a lot of people. It's been kind of a dark horse. And I won't go too much into that because we've got a whole segment on games this week. But you guys ready for Game of the Week?
I'm ready.
You ready, Jordan?
I am ready. Are you ready, Cody?
I am ready.
I am ready.
Let's do it. Thank you, Madden 92, for that. We got a good one, guys. It was a pretty one-sided vote on Twitter. The Kids' Choice Award went to the Spurs versus Detroit Bad Boys, both 6-1. I mean, together they've already got 12 wins this season. I felt like it was a pretty easy one, but I just didn't know. Both of these guys have been Game of the Week before. I didn't know if people wanted to mix it up, see someone new get in there, but yeah. So we got it. The best 2 teams right now, or the best matchup at least record-wise, goes to these guys. So it's gonna be exciting. Before we start breaking it down, let's go ahead and go into our Week 8 fun facts of the Game of the Week. Detroit Bad Boys leads the overall series 5-4. Spurs have won 2 straight in the overall series, though, including the last time they played. The last time Detroit Bad Boys defeated the Spurs was Week 2, 2019, when he won 291 to 258. And the most recent time they played, though, was in the Conference Championship of 2019, 2 years ago, when the Spurs won 313 to 151 in a smackdown, where Cameron, of course, beat Daquan in the infamous "I didn't set my lineup" ordeal. And our next little stat we got is that this is the first time Detroit Bad Boys has ever been 6-1 in their franchise's history. Billy's never done it before, so congrats to him. And for the second time, the Spurs are starting at 6-1. Last time was 2017, where they ended up losing in Week 8. So, yeah, I'm sure that doesn't sound good to Cameron. The last time it was 6-1. This is where he got his second loss of the year. But 87 guys, get this: 87.5% of teams who started 6-1 made the playoffs throughout LCC history. That's overwhelming. Only 2 teams have ever missed the playoffs that started 6-1. So, and just to let everyone know, 16 teams have done this, where they've gone 6-1, but only 2 out of the 16 didn't make it. The 2 teams that didn't make it, that was myself in 2017 and Eastside Brawlers last season, was 6-1. And it's pretty hard to screw up when you're 6-1 to entirely miss the playoffs. I know for myself, I was in a tough division, so 6 wins wasn't good enough. For my dad, he was in a tough division with me and Jordan, so again, it was hard to do that. I think if you're in Conference B West Division, though, you got a good shot. If somehow you got to 6-1, you would definitely make the playoffs, but obviously that can't happen because everyone in there has at least 4 losses or more. It's arguably the worst division in the league right now, but it makes it interesting because they're all still in it and in the mix for that divisional race. Although I think Jameson would definitely tell you he is not in the mix for it, and rightfully so. But yeah, that was our little factoids of Game of the Week. So I guess we can go ahead and break down the matchup itself. I guess we'll start with the Spurs, guys. He's 6-1, has Tom Brady at quarterback, Derrick Henry running back, Chris Godwin receiver. And I checked these lineups yesterday, so they could be a little inaccurate, obviously, tonight. But he had Aquad and Muhammad at defensive line, Alex Singleton at linebacker, Jalen Ramsey at DB, and Jesse Bates at flex. Or Jesse Bates at DB and Jalen Ramsey at flex, however you want to look at it. This guy's, Cameron's team, he didn't rebuild, he just reloaded from the previous 2 years. This team is deep, and I don't see this team really missing the playoffs. Like, winning the division, who knows, I guess, because Will's team's good. Cody's team is actually still good, even though his record doesn't reflect, I feel like, his talent level of his roster. But anything here that stands out to you guys for the Spurs?
I mean, he's got a solid lineup. Like, his starting lineup is definitely, like, really good. And especially with him shoring up linebacker, he went out there and got him a couple of linebackers, and now he's, I don't think he has a weak spot. Maybe defensive line. I like Quentin Williams. I know he doesn't have him starting this week, but I'm a decently, like, high fan of him. Like, I don't know, man. Outside of that, like, if your weakest position is defensive line, then it's not a bad place to be sitting.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like him this week. Don't know if I like him enough to win. We'll get to that at the end, but he's got this stack with Brady and Godwin going against the Saints, so that'll be a big one. And will Houston stay away from Jalen Ramsey? I know there's a chance that Tyrod Taylor plays this week, so that could maybe limit or help his production with a veteran quarterback back there, maybe trying to stay away from him. But overall, he doesn't have, like, a bad matchup on the board to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, his offense is so consistent, so, I mean, you really can't ever question them. And then, even his defensive guys, he's made some moves to get, Alex Singleton, and then I know he has Perryman on bye, but he got him. But, even getting just Singleton to add into that lineup is big. He's been pretty consistent this year, and, Bates has been one of the better DBs for the last, 4 or 5 years now. So, just a bunch of consistency with his team. So that's why I like him.
Yeah, this is a good team. We'll roll it over to Detroit Bad Boys, who's coming in with some injuries and a couple buys as well. But also 6-1, of course, like we said. Last time I looked, he had Daniel Jones in the lineup. It looks like he still does. A.J. Dillon is currently playing, has 5 points and 9 minutes into the game, roughly 9 minutes into the game. DK Metcalf at receiver. Defensive end, Cameron Hayward, who's been great this year. Darius Leonard, linebacker. Minka Fitzpatrick, a DB, and Jeremy Chin in the flex. Guys, can you imagine if we would have had CMC in this lineup, how crazy this matchup really would have been? I mean, Cameron's catching Billy here with one arm tied behind his back. Starting A.J. Dillon instead of CMC. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, who knows when he'll come back? We don't have an exact timeline or anything, I feel like, but dude, A.J. Dillon, that's going to hurt, but I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll do well throughout the night. 5 points, 9 minutes in isn't terrible. So, what are your guys' thoughts on Detroit?
I mean, we'll see what Dillon can do. I do always forget that, man. I'm always staring at Billy's lineup, and I'm just like, if he had that one elite player, and then I look down on the bench, and I'm like, oh, yeah, he does. He's just not in. But Christian McCaffrey would make him so elite. But overall, we'll see if Green Bay has a lot of receivers out tonight, so maybe they will use Dillon more than usual, and he could have a good night. But other than that, I mean, you're never crazy about Daniel Jones, but I think he's an overall, decent fantasy option, and he's going against probably one of the better options against the defense this year with the Kansas City Chiefs. They've gotten roasted by everybody they've played, so I like that matchup for him. And I love his linebackers. I think Chen could have a big week in his linebacker safety / role. He'll be the main one being asked to cover Kyle Pitts against Atlanta. And even if he doesn't do it successfully, that should lead to tackles and points for our purposes. Darius Leonard always is a good one. I would be a lot more fond of Billy's team this week, not to mention McCaffrey, but I don't like DK being without Russell. And so that's probably the biggest glare to me besides the not having McCaffrey in there.
Yeah. So who do you guys? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I thought Cody was going to go, but
I know I cut everyone off by accident.
No, but I agree. You know, I think the big thing is Dylan. I think Dylan's going to have to kind of find the end zone tonight. But if you're, if you're Billy, you're really like probably one of the happiest people that all these receivers are out tonight for the Packers, because that definitely does mean probably more work, a little bit more work than usual for Dylan, who still has been getting a good amount of work. But I could see him getting almost maybe, that 15, 20 touch mark tonight if they really can keep this game close. I know I see, Arizona right now is up 7-0, so that's not a good start, but they can score here again and keep it close. I think there's plenty of work for Dylan tonight. So, but yeah, like Jordan said too, it just hurts with DK not having Russ. If it wasn't for one huge play last week, which I feel like was a big part of it, was because of the fact of the conditions. So he kind of, but either way, that can go both ways. But either way, it was one play that got him all his points last week, pretty much. So, it's kind of boom or bust. I mean, at least it's a good matchup against Jacksonville. But I think it's going to be a good matchup because I do like Billy's team. Even if Dylan finds the end zone tonight, I'm really liking where Billy's sitting at for the rest of this week.
Yeah, you got anything to add?
I mean, he's really got some decent defenders that can have some big play like days that can, spike his score. He's really going to need his defense to make up the ground for what his offense maybe is lacking. And as we speak, Dylan just had a pretty good run. He's sitting at 10 points right now before, it's not even the end of the first quarter. So I don't know. Maybe that's a good sign for him right now as well. So if he can just get, a halfway decent showing from the people on his offense, I think his defense is probably a little bit better than Cameron's overall. And that's what's going to have to carry him through the day.
Yeah,
the week.
This week I can agree with that totally.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Dylan has gone from 5 to 10 points within this breakdown. So
yeah. Well, he just rushed for a first down. Rushing for first downs is
huge.
Pretty big.
Yeah. Make your money right there. So, all right. With all that said, guys, who are you taking in this game?
I'll just go first since I'm kind of like come on every once in a while. But I'm actually just, by the way, things are kind of unfolding right now. No, I can't do it. No, I got to go Cameron, honestly. I was just about to go with Detroit, but, honestly, I just can't go against Derrick Henry. When this guy's doing what he's doing, and same thing with Tom Brady. Those two guys can literally carry a whole team. They literally scored probably 170 points for them the past 2 weeks of together. So I don't think I can go against those combination of players on offense. That's what's really been carrying his team, and I think he's improved his defense enough to where it's only going to get better for him.
Yeah, agreed. I'm going the same thing here. I'm going with the Spurs here. Like you said, just can't really bet against Derrick Henry right now. Just balling out, and defense to me is it's hard. It's the harder thing to predict, honestly, when it comes to offense versus defense for IDP. I mean, sometimes you can find some really good matchups that stand out. If you're a defender playing, a linebacker playing against Derrick Henry, it could be a good day for you, even if it is a great day for Henry too. But either way, I think Spurs win it just because I think it's going to come down to DK Metcalf not having a great day, and Henry going to have just a much better day than Dylan. Even if Dylan does end up maybe getting him 20 points or so tonight, Henry's capable of putting up 60 anytime. So
yeah, guys, this is actually harder for me to pick than I thought, and I'm taking AJ Dillon out of the picture. Honestly, I'm not even factoring him in. Part of it though is because of the fact I'm not super crazy about Alex Singleton's matchup. In fact, this might be the worst matchup he has all year. So this would be a telltale sign of how things go against some other teams. But going against Detroit, man, I mean, that seems to be a vacuum for IDP linebackers in terms of point production. It just seems like they never quite do as much against them at times. I don't know if it's just because how bad the offense is and anemic it can be. I think we may end up getting upper 20s, low 30s instead of the 40 to upper 30 point games we've seen from Alex at times. Even with that said, I'm going to have to go the Spurs here just because, Derrick Henry, King Henry is on track to be possibly one of the greatest, if not the greatest, fantasy running backs we've seen probably in the past decade. And we've seen some good ones like Le'Veon Bell and, Chris Johnson. Technically would have been like 2 decades ago when he was in his prime. But I'm going to have to go to the Spurs here. I do think it's going to be very, very close. Probably closer than I would have initially thought when I was thinking A.J. Dillon was with Detroit for this week. But I'm going to go to the Spurs. So let me go ahead and say that because I know myself. I will forget. Even if it was game of the week. It does not matter. I have the memory of a goldfish, for those that don't know. All right, so it's saved. Now, let's go ahead and talk.
Well,
Jordan's going to make his pick.
Yeah, Jordan's got to make his.
Jesus Christ, I skipped you? God.
No, well, with Derrick Henry's not even. What's so crazy about this, you're talking about how great he is as a fantasy running back, but, like, he's not even like what people think of as your typical like top of the line running back where he's catching balls out of the backfield too. No. He's literally just running the ball down people's throat.
He's a literal beast.
Yeah. But Jordan, your pick now, bud.
Okay, my pick finally.
Sorry.
Everybody's anticipated. They tried to skip me, but I wouldn't let them hold me down. And I wish we would have got a old Lee Corso sound drop, and I would have gave you all the not so fast, and just I can't let it go 4-4, and I'm gonna go with the bad boys get the upset this week.
Ooh.
And, I like the start from A.J. Dillon, so I'm gonna say the Packers.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Yeah, it is happening. I'm gonna say he rides a really strong day from his defense. I said I didn't like DK, but hopefully he still gets force fed. Against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I will say he rides getting a turnover from Jeremy Chin and Minkah Fitzpatrick on Sunday, and the bad boys get the upset.
Hey,
put that in your pipe and smoke.
Put it in there. No, it's good. I was trying to save my picks, by the way, and I guess because the Thursday night game started, it won't let me save them. So I'm going to have to like screenshot it as I go through these now. Oh, jeez. No, I'll survive. So let's go to our other games, guys. For our Halloween-themed episode here, I mean, as you see across the standings right now, there's some wild scenarios. Obviously, like no one has been officially eliminated from the playoff race. Let me repeat that again. No one has officially been eliminated here. Technically, Mafali is still in it. For those, technically, mathematically speaking, maybe not psychologically still in it, but mathematically speaking.
I don't do math.
I don't do math.
He don't count good. So our next matchup, we'll go down below the Spurs matchup. We'll go to the third leg for Step Bros Fantasy Company. Two teams who are, if the season ended today, would be in the playoffs. Like I said earlier, Step Bros Fantasy Company, I feel like it's kind of like a dark horse, a team that, at times I almost forget how good they are this year. But honestly, they're pretty solid. Like we've seen it at times break over 200, which is usually, a good pulse on how good your team does each week. If you're breaking 200, chances are you've got a good shot at winning. It's not guaranteed, but there's a good shot. At least you can win. I guess I can run through the lineups real quick, guys, and you can just make your picks for this. But third leg got Matt Ryan going against Mac Jones. With Mac Jones, I mean, goodness. We saw him go off against the Jets, but going to the Chargers, LA Chargers, I don't know. We'll see. And then you got Zeke Elliott going against Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard, hey, he is kind of if there's one little bright spot in Carolina's offense, I feel like it's Chuba Hubbard. Sorry, I call him Chuba in my mind, even though it's Chuba. I don't know why I do that.
Sounds a lot better to me, so.
Yeah, I honestly think everyone else has got it wrong. I think I've got it right. But no, Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, I think maybe. What if we called him Chuba Hubbard? You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
But honestly, like, if there's a slither of a bright spot in Carolina's offense, I do think it's Hubbard, believe it or not. And going against Zeke, And then you've got DeAndre Hopkins playing right now as we record this, 7 points in the first quarter for the third leg, going against Deebo Samuel, who is technically questionable right now, but he's been limited. So that's a good sign. At least he's actually doing something. And then you've got Nick Bosa going against Khalil Mack, who is doubtful. So I imagine Matt McCarson's going to pull him out, put a backup in. And then you got linebacker Eric Kendricks, a great year, going against a team who can run the football. That's usually a good sign, especially for the third leg this week. Going against Jalen Reeves-Maybin, who up until recently probably no one even knew about, but he's been solid the past 3 weeks. Serviceable, to say the least. And then he's got J.C. Jackson at DB for Step Bros Fantasy Company and a DB for the third leg. They've got Von Bell, who I guess did you guys trade, right? Is that one of the trades that happened? Von Bell was involved?
Yeah.
Yes, Von Bell was part of the one of the trades for Charles this week.
So, and then
right on time.
At the flex, you got the Honey Badger for the third leg versus Travis Kelce. And it sounds weird because most weeks you would never start a receiver in your flex. Matt McCarson's done it several times. I mean, he's putting up good flex numbers here and there, but not consistently. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes for the Chiefs and Travis Kelce against the Giants on Monday night. But I'm going to go and just pick my guys. I'm taking the third leg in this.
Yeah, I'll take the third leg as well. I really like both teams. I just think Matt has a little too much to replace this week with Mac and stuff. His strengths are receivers. That's why he keeps playing them. And live or die, some weeks they're putting up heavy numbers, so keep going with it. Funny thing, Hopkins actually got called back on a touchdown, so his night could be off to a major start. They got called back, so that actually helps Matt McCarson out.
Literally got called back on the 3-yard line for like
offensive face mask. How about that? But even though I like his team, I just think Charles is strong, like literally all the way across the board, and I don't see him having a bad week this week. So I'm gonna go with the third leg.
Yeah, I'm following suit with everybody so far. Not that I don't like Matt's team, I really do, honestly. He's really put together like a scrappy team overall. And I could really see him making a wild card team with this team.
Yeah.
But I just think Charles is one of the upper tier teams, and it's just going to be too much for like Matt to overcome. Like, even if Charles has a bad day from somebody, he's literally got potential to go off in every other position.
Yeah.
So you're all on the third leg, and I'm gonna definitely go with Step Bros Fantasy Co. here.
Oh.
And this was kind of before. I kind of had a feeling you guys were all gonna lean with him, but either way, I was going with this pick. First off, shout out Mac Jones. The truth, really, probably my biggest mistake as a Patriots fan was not trusting him over fucking Trevor Lawrence. So, sorry, Mac Jones, if you hear this. I really will never – I'll never probably, forgive myself for, taking Trevor Lawrence with a high pick when I could have just got you for nothing, because nobody valued you at the time.
If Mac Jones is listening, this is great. By the way, we have hit it. We've hit it big.
But the big thing for me is, I know, it's not common or popular to start the two wide receivers, but if there's any of them to do it, it's like the ones he has, because Williams has been going off. Samuels, Kelce. I think Samuels and Kelce both have good matchups this week. Chuba also has a good matchup this week. And, I think Reeves-Maybin has a great matchup, actually. I really like him against, Philly. I think if he potentially ends up being the spy on Jalen Hurts, whoever usually is that, has pretty good games each week. And either way, he may even get Shaq Thompson back this week, so he might slide him in. Who knows what happens. And then J.C. Jackson, probably is the one question mark for me. But, like I said, though, he could even get Shaq Thompson back. I saw that he was limited in your guys' practice this week. So, he's got a lot of options, but I like his team. I think, obviously, the one question mark for me is the DB. I like Charles's a lot more. Obviously, he just got Von Bell, which is huge. He's pretty consistent. And, Matthew, to me, he probably gets you a solid 20 points. So, he's not going to hurt you. But, I don't think he's, that great. So I'm gonna go with Step Bros Fantasy Co. Though he's not great fantasy wise. He's a great NFL player, obviously.
Even with JC though, like he's one of those guys that can really has really good ball skills, so he can get you a turnover at any point.
Well, he's been much more consistent than if you look at just fantasy numbers. He's not one of those cornerbacks who just goes off because he has a few weeks where he has a lot of interceptions or tackles. He's pretty consistent at around at least 25, 30 a game.
Well, I just know him. I mean, just based off of a high total interceptions last year and everything like that. So I'm just saying he's got good ball skills.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, he's a great player. I love J.C. Jackson. He was one of the big reasons why we definitely didn't mind getting rid of Stephon Gilmore. We knew J.C. Jackson was our new number one. I mean, he's not going to be what Stephon was in his, defensive player of the year, but he's still a great corner. So.
Hopefully Gilmore makes his Panther debut this weekend, by the way.
Yeah. For real. Have we all made our picks for this game?
Yep. That was it.
We're good.
All right.
You didn't cut your way out this time, Pat. Good job.
Thank God. I'm terrible at that. Who wants to do the breakdown for the matchup of a generation, New Orleans Voodoo versus Give Me More?
I'll do that one. That's a great one. Let's see. So we're going to start at quarterback. You got Justin Fields versus Baker Mayfield. That's fun. That's going to be fun to watch. I mean, they're actually, both playing some pretty tough defenses this week. And then the big thing here is, I guess, I don't know what he's doing at running back this week because he still has Tony Jones as his only other running back who is on IR, and Josh Jacobs is on bye. So got to see what he does there. That's not good. Josh Jacobs versus Elijah Mitchell. Mitchell's definitely the starter now in San Francisco when healthy. You got Tyreek Hill versus Marvin Jones. I think that's pretty clearly Tyreek Hill to me. You got Sam Hubbard versus JPP. That's a pretty even split like both of those guys. Then you got Devin Bush versus Marcus Golden, who's actually going right now in this game. Currently has 0, so definitely not a good start. But, can make it up at any time, but still not really big on him in general. A lot of tackles. Just so many guys out there on that Arizona defense that can just eat up tackles. And then you got at the DB, we have Jordan Fuller against DJ Reed. Again, kind of, I guess maybe lean Fuller a little bit, but, more so, I think kind of a split. And then the last one here, we have Marcus May versus Xavier Woods. And I'm going to definitely give that to Marcus May, because he has balled out every single week he's played this year. He actually is one of the more underrated IDP players if you really look at his points per game so far this year. But so a little gem that New Orleans Voodoo is sitting on, and ironically, of course, it's just somebody he picked because he was a Jet. But worked out for him. So I'm going to go with New Orleans Voodoo in this one. I think he'll find a random running back to get it done still. I don't think it's going to really matter that much. I think he can win even if he got 2 points from his running back. I think he'll do good everywhere else. I kind of like his other matchups. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go... Oh, man, Jameson's team has just been so bad this year, honestly, at times, especially as of late. I think I'm going to go Voodoo, too. We've seen him break 200 a couple times this year. Have we seen Jameson break 200? If it did, it was early in the year. So I'm going to go Voodoo here, actually. And I don't know if I should call that an upset or not, but I'm going Voodoo.
It's not an upset, by the way. I actually think Jameson's probably the worst team in the league now. But, that's on purpose, I reckon. But, yeah, I just think Voodoo's got a stronger defense, and Tyreek will, I think he's going to go off at the same point. So, I mean, I'm going to go Voodoo as well. Not so fast!
Give it to us, Jordan.
Again, you can't go 4-4. I'm gonna go with Gimme More gets the upset. Big week from Justin Fields. Yeah, right now, I mean, I can't pick somebody that doesn't have someone in their lineup, and I don't see anyone on the bench you could put in, so I'll see it when he does something. So as of right now, Jameson gets the win just off of having bodies.
I think
have to pick up a running back and think he wins.
Ooh, that's harsh.
Yeah, I think if he gets 0 from running back, I think he's still. I'm
That's
telling you,
bad.
Marcus May, undervalued. Maybe he has his first bad week this week, and maybe but if you look at his points per game, man, he has been a stud this year.
Yeah, he's a stud. He needs to get out of New York.
And I like Sam Hubbard going against the Jets this week, going against that left side. I mean, he'll be going against the right tackle, actually, because they got the other white dude, Henderson, on there.
Don't be shocked if Marcus May is traded by Tuesday in real life.
Oh, really?
Oh, well, I was going to say you're going after him now in LCC, but I was going to say, but no.
I just know he's been a big trade target for like a year and a half now. So.
Yeah, the Jets got rid of pretty much everybody else, so
It'd
be smart for them to keep him. They might. I think they should keep. You got to have some kind of like veteran leadership, even though he's still young. Like you could give him a contract extension to make him a veteran leader.
It's so funny. They drafted Adams in the first round, and then they drafted him in the second the same year.
Yep. And I think it's smart to get rid of your first rounder because he was the guy you were going to get way more back for.
And he's really not even that great in coverage, honestly.
But neither was Adams, though, so they're both just great tacklers.
I'm talking about Adams.
Oh, okay. I don't think either one of them is, but
yeah.
Either way, we got to keep it going here.
Yeah, we do. We're already 41 minutes in. We got a lot of matchups to go through.
Yeah.
Our next one is primetime players versus myself. Jordan, do you want to do this one?
I think Cody's going to take this one.
Oh, Cody. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Hang on. Let me play my sound drop. I just got to play it.
Did you lose?
You shut your mouth! Every year I set this league up. Every year, and I never win. This was the year!
Yep, that's me. All right, Cody, you can go ahead.
No, I mean, from my perspective, you got a pretty good team this year. But, if you look at it, we start with quarterbacks and Jalen Hurts versus, like, Carson Wentz. I mean, honestly, no one really likes Carson Wentz. Like, he's kind of inconsistent for the most part.
I'm over 72, and I feel great.
That's Carson Wentz.
That's Carson getting out of bed every day.
Yeah, right. But Jalen Hurts he may not be doing, I don't think he's doing terrible right now, but he may not be doing the best in terms of real life. But, man, I'm telling you what, killing it fantasy-wise. It looks like Alvin Kamara is kind of getting back on his thing if we want to switch to running backs, but I really don't think it's that far off with Khalil Herbert. Like, I feel like he's been doing a phenomenal job since he took over the last 2 weeks. And Montgomery owners should beware because he might be taking that job. But I give a slight edge to Alvin Kamara just based off of, passing game work and everything like that. But I think it's going to be a little closer than maybe some people think in terms of, points versus the running backs.
Yeah, I do too.
I got to give Daquan the edge for me, like in receiver, Stephon Diggs. Calvin really just hasn't shown up this year so far. Maybe he has a big day. He's definitely due for a big day. But I don't see it versus Carolina's corners. I feel like their secondary, I'm not a huge fan of their safeties out in terms of coverage, but like I think their corners are really nice. Do y'all get Gilly this week?
Yeah, probably.
So hopefully,
definitely if he's playing.
Justin Burris got activated from IR too, so that upgrades safety.
Yeah. Honestly, like, give me Montez Sweat over Chase at the moment. Like, Chase has not lived up to everything. I also feel like he's the one that's more liable to get double teamed, giving Sweat more of the chance to make the play. So I kind of like that a little bit more. I got to give linebacker to Daquan in terms of Roquan Smith versus Jordan Brooks. I think Roquan is top 3, top 2 linebacker, and he's liable to go off for 70 at any point. I got to take Deion Jones. I think Deion Jones is coming into his own for these flex players with Deion and Xavier McKinney. Deion's just I think he can come up with a sack, to be honest, versus y'all. They've been sending him, quite a few times the past couple weeks. I think he came up with a sack last week as well. And the way that Sam Darnold has been passing, I could really see him getting underneath the throw as well and maybe getting a pick. So I really like Deion's matchup a little bit more than McKinney's. I think the Chiefs are kind of due for a big week offensively. And then if you go to the safeties, Akari Willis, I'm taking over Justin Simmons, but it's very close. It's almost kind of like a split for me. Man, I really overall like it's going to be a really good matchup. I think Daquan really makes up off the back half of these rosters, but I don't think he makes up enough just based off the first two players with Jalen Hurts and Alvin Kamara. I think they really set the tone, and Carson Wentz doesn't have the greatest day versus Tennessee. I really think the Colts are going to try to run the ball versus Tennessee, and that's where it lies. And he doesn't have the greatest day. And Khalil Herbert kind of gets shut down a little bit by the 49ers to where Alvin Kamara and Jalen Hurts just pace this matchup too much for the defense to overcome.
Well, what a breakdown.
Good work, Cody.
I love it.
So go ahead.
I'll just go ahead and pick mine. I'm going to go Daquan here in an upset. I think Cody caught on to a few things I've been thinking all week. I think Herbert is actually going to keep pace with Kamara pretty well. I mean, Tampa's defense is really good, and I think that's a big part of it, honestly. So I'm going to go primetime players.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the primetime players as well, and strictly for the fact I just want to start reeling the Roebuck Leprechauns in. And so by picking against them, I'm hoping I start dropping them down so I can reel them in.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have to just. Is this going to be the first one where we all pick the same? I guess because I'm going.
It's already been split.
It's already been split. Yeah.
I kind of got okay. So I'm going primetime players here though because Carson Wentz, great matchup there. I love it. So that's my guy. I know
Like Carson Wentz.
We crapped on him early, but he has a great matchup this week, so he goes off. That's the
all right. So we'll move it on to our next matchup. Jordan, I don't know if you want to break down your game or not, but it's Jiu-Jitsu Jesus versus Afternoon Delights.
I'll fucking do it. No.
I could do the history, though, real quick of your guys' matchup.
Okay.
If you want.
Hit me with some history.
Oh, all right. History lesson, everyone. Gather around the fire. You guys have played each other 9 times over the years. Jiu-Jitsu Jesus owns this series 7-2, has dominated it. In fact, last time Jordan won was week 7 of 2016 when he won 208-202. But most recently was 2019 in week 7 where Jiu-Jitsu Jesus defeated Afternoon Delights 240-217. Jiu-Jitsu Jesus GM Matthew Legg has 2 Little Critter Bowl champions or titles under his belt. Jordan has none, just like myself, but he has been. And Jordan, I mean, both of you guys, I feel like have had some, bad luck here and there. Although I don't want to break down the matchup. I was about to break it down. And then I forgot to mention the history of the previous matchup. I'm not going to go into it deep, but Primetime Players is leading the series 3-2. So.
All right. Now you want me to break it down?
Hell yeah. Yeah, I do.
All right, I'll break down my own matchup. So we just discovered Matt has beaten my ass historically. So you're telling me I'm due. So we got Ryan Tannehill against the Colts versus my very own Justin Herbert against the Pats up there in New England. I don't know how the weather's up there, Steve, but hopefully Justin's slinging the pigskin around,
I think he will. I mean, I'm sure he will be.
Ooh. Okay. Vondre Campbell just did something big.
Yeah. Did he?
Yeah, he got you 20 points all of a sudden.
Well, yeah, I see he's got a sack. But moving on, that's a pretty close matchup, but I like what Justin can bring to the table. And then you got J.D. McKissick against the Broncos. And right now I'm rolling with Dearness Johnson, but as soon as I'm hoping Chubb gets cleared to play, and then I'd be forced to drop Dearness. But until I get he's going to be active signal, I'm not going to do that. So right now, Deandre Johnson, but I'm not worried either way. If he has to start, I have faith in the Browns just running no matter who's back there. So T. Higgins, I like his matchup against the Jets. There's going to be a major focus on Jamar Chase after his big breakout, so there's always potential for T to at least catch a touchdown, especially against a crappy secondary. I have Deontay Johnson against the Browns. He's kind of a big play type of receiver. He does get a lot of targets. That's the original reason I liked him, and hopefully the targets go up just a little bit with Juju out. Aaron Donald, best defensive player in the game, but we speak all the time like boom or bust. I will say I would think he's more on the side of the boom potential this week going against a really poor Houston offensive line. And if what I talked about earlier, if Tyrod doesn't play, I could really see a rookie being flustered by Aaron Donald's up the middle pressure, so he could have a big day. I have Brian Burns on the other side. I'm just hoping Matt Ryan doesn't move too well anymore and he can go get one, maybe two. Alex Anzalone versus the Eagles. We'll be trying to track down Jalen Hurts. Patrick mentioned I've started Deandre Campbell for the Green Bay Packers against the Cardinals tonight. He's already got 20. It's not quite halftime, so hopefully that's a sign of things to come. I'd like at least a smooth 40 spot from him.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, and I think we've mentioned it on the podcast before. This was my last pick in the draft, and actually suggested by Patrick. Like, he's like, he's supposed to get a chance there, and I was like, freaking dude, like starting linebacker, last pick, and he's probably been my most consistent defensive player, maybe my most consistent player overall, before the trades and whatnot. But so I appreciate that from a division rival.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm a good friend.
Yeah, and then we got Teron Johnson against Miami, and we usually like to hate on corners, but he's one of the ones that usually steadily comes out and puts up a solid performance. I don't watch many Buffalo games, but I'm assuming he gets in a lot on some run stops and things like that. I'm starting Jamal Adams versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I actually debated hard whether I wanted to take Jamal out of my lineup this week because he has had like a down season for his standards, but I was hoping just going against the Jaguars, and I love Trevor, but a rookie quarterback. I know Steve's going to have something to say. I was hoping he could steal something off of him. He's got Eddie Jackson going against the 49ers. I like Eddie. He's a run help type of safety, so there's that. And the Niners are a lot of run at the line of scrimmage type things with their pass looks. And then I have Antoine Winfield going against the Saints. I'm a little questionable on him. This is his first game back from a concussion, so I don't know how well he's going to do. But I'm hoping everything's just fine with him. And, just seeing the good start from Deandre Campbell, I'm hoping he keeps it up. I'm going to, of course, pick myself.
I'm picking you too. I think this is going to be a blowout. Also, Campbell is leading all linebackers in scoring this year. I just looked it up.
Yeah, what a freaking draft pick.
God, I hate you.
That was like the Tom Brady pick of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid pick to take Jordan, but I'm going to go with Jordan too, actually. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm not big on, by the way, I do see some Buffalo games as I'm up here. They're on TV a lot. Teron Johnson's definitely just that guy who gets torched because they don't throw at Tre'Davious White. Like, he just is like, they're always throwing his way. So
that makes sense.
He's one of those corners, like, that's like, sometimes you get those corners who are good, like just, good ball hawks. They still get involved in the run game, especially when it gets out on the edges. But he gets toasted a bunch because nobody throws at Tre'Davious White. So, but that's valuable sometimes. Hey, if you're getting, as long as you're tackling them inbounds and getting some stops.
Yeah.
You look like crap on the NFL field, but you look like a god on the fantasy field.
Yeah.
Keep getting torched, Teron. But I'm going to Jordan here.
I'm going to take Matt in the upset, to be honest
Ooh.
with you. I think Aaron Donald has a massive fucking day.
Oh.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
Deandre winning the day for Cody.
I actually don't mind. Like, I don't mind. I think paces Jordan a little bit in the DB area this week. I like his matchups in that as well. And then I don't know. Yeah, I think he wins a close game. Matt, I got Matt.
This is bullshit. No.
All right.
We
Well,
have not gone 4-0 on any picks so far this week, so that's good.
We probably do need to pick up the pace a little bit. We're 55 minutes in, and we're almost halfway through the matchups.
Oh, geez. Yeah, we got this.
So, next one, I'll do the breakdown of this, and I'll let you guys pick it. We got.
If you love it, text us in the Discord later and tell us you didn't love it.
That's right.
Yeah, the other show goes at like an hour 20.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is I feel bad that, like, just because, like, they're at the end of the show, now we have to take our time with that. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, I know it sounds bad, but, like, most of the people really do just listen when we talk about their team. So,
oh, I know.
I mean, we're not going to keep breaking them down and just keep bad one at this point.
No, we don't have to rush it or anything. But we don't want to have a 2-hour podcast either.
Yeah, so go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, so our next one, there is some history here. Two legends in the league, Mr. 300 versus Eastside Brawlers. The GM for Mr. 300 is Colby. The GM for Eastside Brawlers is John. That is my dad, who's been on a little bit of a win streak here. He's pulled off some upsets. Some teams have underperformed. His team just did their little average, mediocre performance, and he gets the win. That's how it rolls sometimes. Nothing you can do about that, though. They've played each other 5 times since 2010. Eastside Brawlers leads the series 3-2. This is one of the few teams in the league that Mr. 300 has a losing record to. In fact, the last time this first time I'm looking at this, and this is blowing my mind right now. Last time Mr. 300 beat Eastside Brawlers, can you guys guess what year that was?
2013.
2011.
Jeez, no, I'm going to say like 2015.
Jordan's right. 2011 was the last time.
Dude, that is so. Oh my gosh,
dude! 10 years. It's been a decade. Like, I'm pretty sure Miley Cyrus was still Hannah Montana the last time he won. Like, it's been that long, guys, since Mr. 300 won against Eastside Brawlers. It was week 8, 2011. He won 125-106. Back then, that was a decent score. It wasn't great. And fast forward to 2020, that was the last time they played. In week 7, Eastside Brawlers won 204-127 in a SmackDown. It's been almost just over a year to the week. And Eastside Brawlers, I don't think this team is nearly as good as it was last year in terms of how dominant they were on defense. But with this trade, the few trades that have happened for Eastside, it does seem like they're kind of, at one point we talked about this team tanking, and now here they are. I mean, they're kind of in the wild card picture, and they're not eliminated from the divisional race either, technically. So why not? I mean, I think Eastside, there's still a lot to be seen. You know, Miles Gaskin, who we just traded for myself, he's been up and down, but I think his floor is no worse than what he was getting out of his running back. His ceiling's definitely a lot higher. So why not go for it? The matchup, though, itself, in terms of who's playing who, you got Sam Darnold versus Tua. You've got Jonathan Taylor versus Alex Collins. Keenan Allen versus A.J. Brown. Joey Bosa versus Kwity Paye, who is back. He was out for injury for like almost a month, but now he's back. He had 20 against San Francisco last week. This is a guy, guys, I hyped on a lot in the offseason. And he's doing pretty good when he's been able to play. He's been solid going against Joey Bosa. Mr. 300 also has Logan Wilson in at linebacker going against Tay Crowder, who honestly has been, I don't want to say Blake Martinez 2.0, but at times he's been almost as good when he's been playing well. Going against Logan Wilson. Logan Wilson, of course, he's featured in our cover photo of this week for this week's episode. We've seen him get 70, and we've seen him get 22. So I guess we'll see with the Jets. I mean, we talk about anemic offenses. That's definitely probably the one. I mean, I don't even know. Do they even have a pulse? I'm not sure. So that does scare me for Logan Wilson. Landon Collins for Eastside Brawlers going against Kyle Duggar for Mr. 300. This is at the moment, but he's been balling, man. And I remember Mafale hyped on Duggar a lot in the offseason, and he's lived up to those expectations that most set for him. He's got the Chargers this week, so I imagine he's going to be busy. And then the flex, you've got Javon Holland, who I think we all kind of bashed on Eastside a little bit for that rookie pick, but is paying off the past 3 weeks going against a good Buffalo team versus Bobby Wagner. And honestly, it sounds weird. I think he could do just as much as Bobby Wagner does this week. Bobby's got the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll see what happens. Does Trevor throw another pick? Do they pound the rock and he just eats up a lot of tackles? Who knows? But I think those guys could keep pace with each other. I think this game is surprisingly close, guys. I really do. I'm going to give the edge still to Mr. 300. I mean, with Tua, there's talks about this guy maybe not even starting. He's made a comment about not really feeling wanted. And they're going against Buffalo, dude. I think Tua may have a struggle this week on his hands. And Sam Darnold, as bad as he's been at times and him getting pulled, I think we're going to see the true Sam Darnold this week against Atlanta. He's been benched for PJ Walker, for God's sakes. I don't care who you are. If you thought PJ Walker was going to be an improvement, you're crazy. You might be an alcoholic or a drug addict. I'm not sure, but probably both. But Sam Darnold, I think after getting benched, there's a fire lit under him. And same with Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule has got to feel the pressure right now from the front office. I don't know. I do think, I'm not saying the Panthers win, and I'm not going to go into that, but I think Sam Darnold does have a bounce back week this week. But I'm still going to go Mr. 300.
Just real quick before we forget, Colby has Dak Prescott. He just hasn't made. I don't think he's looked at his team yet this week because.
Okay.
Yeah, he had Dak on bye last week. He's going to drop Tua. I guess maybe one of you guys might have to get on there and cut him for him in case somebody needs him for a bye. I don't know if it's that desperate out there for buys this week, but I guess technically they should have had that option for him. I guess.
I forgot. I'll text Colby now.
Yeah, but so that makes a big difference for me for Colby. He's I didn't think about it when you first said it, and then right there towards the end, I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure Colby has Dak, and Dak's definitely not on bye this week. So, that definitely makes a big difference. And I know he got, he got Gaskins, who is going to be starting at RB. But this week, this is an awful matchup for him. I do not just like you said with Tua. I think it's even worse for Gaskins because really most of his effectiveness is in the passing game. So, maybe you can hope he gets a lot of work if they just dump it off to him late in the game if they're down a lot. But I just don't see him. He's been kind of boom or bust, but I just don't see him having a boom this week. So I'm going to go Mr. 300 here by a good bit. I think Colby finally breaks that long decade streak of losing to the Eastside Brawlers. He's been losing that brawl pretty hard. He's pretty beat up, so he needs a win.
Yeah, Gaskins is a turd, first and foremost. But every once in a while he shines. But he's not that great in terms of what you want out of a fantasy running back, at least a starting one at least.
He's Mr. Hanky.
He's Mr. Hanky. No, with Dak being in this lineup, man, it's no contest in my opinion. I was already, just like Pat, already kind of leaning towards Colby. Once you figure out Dak's in that lineup, then there's really no other way to go with this, man. Any hope that Mr. Nooch had just fleeted away within 2 seconds of learning the status of one's quarterback.
Yeah, right. I wanted to cut him off. I felt badly after probably for a minute there at the end when you were talking about Darnold. Really is when I realized it. So that's when I was just gonna.
So are you keeping your pick, Pat?
Well, he said
Colby anyway.
Yeah, I said Colby. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I guess this will be our first sweep of the night because I'm picking Mr. 300.
All right.
And, but just quickly, I just want to go to what you were talking about with the quarterbacks, Pat. I actually think it's going to be opposite this week, so it's going to be interesting to see whose opinion works out. I feel like we will see the true Sam Darnold. I just feel like that's a big pile of dog shit. And I actually think Tua has heard all the noise, and I think he'll have one of his better weeks because out of all the people not believing in him, I think the most important person does believe in him, and it's his coach.
That's
I
true.
think he'll play his ass off for Flores. So I feel like it would go the opposite, even though Dak's going to be in this lineup. So if anybody needs a quarterback, maybe go give Tua the.
Well,
I do like Tua this week too, as well.
I was going to say this. Here's a crazy scenario for you. Let's say the whole Deshaun Watson thing actually did happen with the Dolphins. What if Carolina would have gone and got Tua after that?
I would have taken it. I mean, the only thing I don't like about Tua is a bit injury prone, and I don't like that with our offensive line,
God,
especially
no.
because at this stage in his career, we cannot protect him.
Do you think it helps that he's left-handed though?
Yes, because our best offensive lineman's a right tackle.
That's my point.
But still, like overall, like pressure's coming right in the middle right now.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's like the Alamo back there.
Man, that's where I feel like that's y'all's best option.
We played him at both. I think he's going to be in guard just because he's not worked out at tackle. But we can move on. I just wanted to.
No,
that was interesting.
That would be an interesting storyline. And if he does, if you're right, I'm interested to see, does Eastside Brawlers depart with Sam Darnold after that? Because that would be 2 atrocious weeks. If you think he does worse, I mean, he only got 8 fantasy points last week. If he does worse somehow, God, I don't even know what that looks like, but I don't want to be a part of that because I'm going to the game Sunday.
I think there's better quarterbacks at this point, like, out there.
So you're saying if Eastside Brawlers would benefit if he just dropped Darnold for Tua, right, when Colby had to cut him?
I mean,
yes, I would say that.
At this point, but I also think there's probably a couple other guys that are getting streamed nowadays that are probably better options than Sam Darnold. I don't even know if Sam Darnold's going to have a job by the end of each game. Like, that's my worry.
We'll have to see. I think he will because the alternative's PJ Walker, and I saw enough of that to know better. Like, that's not going to work out.
But, like, losing only does so much for you. You know what I'm saying?
Technically, you mentioned the Watson to Miami. Sam Darnold throws 4 interceptions on Sunday. Like, don't put it past Tepper to make that deal by Tuesday.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're that adamant about getting Watson, I'm sure Carolina would try to jump all over Tua because Tua's gonna be. I would imagine he's gonna be disappointed in that move.
Would you jump all over Mills?
No.
It's just
no. No. All right, let's keep it moving. Guys. We got our next matchup here. We got the whoa! I almost missed this entirely. Here we go. We've got the
hash-slinging slasher.
Yep, that's right. The hash-slinging slashers are here, and they're going against the Batard Lobos. I don't know. I don't have a sound drop for them, so I made my own. But yeah, I mean, Alex has revived this team from last year from the rookie mistakes. I mean, he's 3-4. I get that. I think it was CJ who made a comment. I kind of chuckled when he was like, "Dude, you're only 3-4. You're below 500, and you're leading the division right now." And I think it's because Alex was jokingly saying his division was like the best or something. But no, I do think Alex's team. This is another team that I don't think the record accurately portrays how good they are and what they've been doing week to week. I mean, I think Alex said so himself. It's like only been one week this year where he didn't score 200, and 200 is really that that line in the sand where I kind of judge, did I have a good week? If I break 200, I had a good week. Whether or not I win or lose, that's all I can do. If I break 200, I'll take it. But the hash-slinging slashers, like we talked about, I mean, this is a good team, guys. I don't think there's any history here. Mafali, I guess we're going to let you break this one down. Yeah, no history between these guys at all.
Man, okay, well, sound drop definitely going to have to go with the Lobos. I thought you did a great job coming up with your own sound drop for the Lobos, so I'll lean with them. But quarterback, definitely Matthew Stafford. I mean, you know, I know Washington's defense has been a little suspect this year, but maybe they just show it this week and, you know, get pressure on Teddy Bridgewater. But you know, I'm definitely going to give the edge to Stafford either way. Stafford's just been balling out all year. Running back, Gibson versus Henderson. I'm going to go Henderson in that one, actually, too. Henderson, I think, you know, the Rams could just put up a bunch of points, and Henderson's been great all year. He's pretty much been a workhorse, and Gibson's banged up and has been, like, slowly losing touches. J.D. McKissick. So then you got wide receiver here. You have Justin Jefferson versus DJ Moore, which is a great matchup. But man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go Justin Jefferson though. I think even if Diggs is on him, I think Diggs is liable to give up a lot of yards. So even if he doesn't get his picks, so I'm gonna have to lean with Justin Jefferson there, probably just because of how we were talking earlier about the better quarterback situation. But Moore still does get a lot of targets, so it's pretty close there. Then you got your defensive end. You have Danielle Hunter versus Sebastian Joseph Day. And I know Danielle Hunter's the big name, but Dallas really does have a great line, and I think they're starting to finally get healthy. And, Houston is Houston, so I'm going to go with Joseph Day. One good thing about playing a good thing about Aaron Donald is that he's good for everybody else around him. A lot of people get to eat up tackles because of Aaron Donald getting constantly doubled and triple teamed. So guys like him just kind of get to, get easy tackles in the run game and also maybe some sacks on the quarterback. Then we got our linebacker matchup, which is C.J. Mosley versus Fred Warner. And that's a great matchup right there. I'm just going to say a wash on that because they're both amazing players. So, and then you got your defensive back matchup, which Kevin Byard versus Taylor Rapp. That's another toss-up to me. They're both great players. And then you got Harrison Smith, who's going against Dallas. And you got Cordell Patterson, actually. Mondo going with the 2 running backs because he does have 3 really great running backs. And Cordell Patterson, just been used so much in that Atlanta offense. And actually, I think he might be the one guy that finds some success against that Carolina defense. So I do like him this week, even though, it's a tough matchup against a guy like Harrison Smith, who is pretty much a lock for 30 every week, so if not more. So it's a tough one for me. But I'm going to have to go with the Lobos here. I think the Lobos gets it done. The quarterback matchup, and I just think overall he'll have a really good week. So I'm going to go with the Lobos.
I'm going to ride along with you and go with the Lobos as well, and saying Mondo drops a tough one with Teddy Bridgewater leading the way.
Well, giddy up, baby. I'm going Libertar Lobos too. I don't know. I like Matthew Stafford more than Teddy Bridgewater. I think Teddy's going to have another vanilla type game against a good Washington defense. So I'm going Lobos to get the upset.
I don't know when we ever found out the Washington football team had a good defense this year because I have not seen it at all. You know what? I'm going to go Mondo, man. I think he has big days from both of his running backs. I think Justin Jefferson has a really big day as well versus Dallas. I think they both have very even defensively. I'm gonna go with the Ashton Slashers.
Yeah, I'm glad you did because this is actually a great matchup, and it would have sucked to see this been a sweep because these are 2 great teams, and it sucks that Mondo doesn't have Lamar Jackson. That's why he has Teddy Bridgewater in right now.
Well, yeah. If Jackson was playing, I'd Team Mondo.
Same.
Oh, for sure. And, that's where bye weeks come into play. But, that's why the Slinging Slashers, great record. And they, technically this would be an upset because of the fact that the Lobos is 3-4 compared to the Slinging Slashers, who are, I think, 6-1 now. So
I will say Teddy Bridgewater got a bye week replacement win last week for the Delights, so he does have a little mojo going.
Keep it rolling, Teddy B. Keep it rolling, Teddy B. Let's go.
I like his matchup.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great matchup. That was probably my second choice behind, our actual matchup of the week this week was this one.
Yeah.
Even though Lamar was on bye. That was probably the main thing for me, which made it probably not.
Oh, yeah. Lamar's one of my favorite non-Panther players.
Did everyone make their pick?
Yeah.
All right, good. So we're going to go to our next matchup. We got Hunter of Champions. Someone do a Hunter of Champions sound drop on their own. Make a noise.
Pew!
That's perfect. Oh my god. Pew pew pew. Versus 2 girls, 1 cup, and I don't even know where to start with that sound drop. Honestly,
I can give you a sound drop for that one.
All right, gimme.
Find that one, huh?
Sounds a little bit like macaroni.
Oh, gross. Oh, my God.
Use your imagination.
Oh, that was so gross. Oh, my God.
All right. Well, I guess I got this one.
Yeah, no history here, by the way, between these two teams.
Nice. I wouldn't expect it because it's rookie, right?
Yeah, that's true. That was kind of dumb.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll go straight into it quarterback-wise. I don't dislike Kirk Cousins' matchup. I think they're really going to be down the whole game, so he's going to end up throwing. I genuinely just feel like Patrick Mahomes is due for a big day, like due for a massive day.
Doo-doo.
And, yeah, right. I mean, you can say it again, too, if you want to. But, no, especially versus the Giants. So if anybody wants to go pick up Bradbury or start Bradbury, he's probably going to get torched all day. Like, I just feel like that's what's about to happen. So I'm leaning towards Patrick Mahomes in that category, but it's probably not as big as maybe some people would think because I do think Kirk Cousins is going to throw a lot. I got Najee all day just because I think they're going to try to ride him versus the Browns. They're going to try to reduce how many times Big Ben gets hit. And they're going to try to reduce the pass rush a little bit, keep these guys off balance. So I really think he's going to get a lot. Plus, he's really the key offensive weapon in the pass game as well, right out the backfield, because Big Ben's not throwing it 5 yards down the field. So I'm leaning a little Najee there. Man, I got to go Amari Cooper. He's kind of a little bit in that Tyler Lockett range where, like, he goes off or he doesn't do anything really at all. And with the Minnesota Vikings, they got a decent secondary. I like their safeties more than their corners overall, but I think Cooper has the potential to have a big day. I think LA might be able to lock Cooks up a little bit more just because he's the only guy there. Nobody else is really showing up in terms of on the outside for Houston. So I'm going to lean Amari on this. If you're looking at Shaq Barrett and Chandler Jones, I got a little bit of a head start. I'm able to see Chandler Jones. He's got 8 right now, and he hasn't really been affecting Rodgers too much. I'm going to go Shaq Barrett. I just feel like Winston likes to hold on to the ball a little bit more. He's liable to take a sack, and ill-advised sack at that. So I'll probably take Shaq Barrett. In terms of on that. David Long, a nice piece Colby added at linebacker. He definitely needed to get a little better at linebacker because Isaiah hasn't been playing up to par, and he didn't have anybody quite, frankly, after that to really, feel comfortable with. So I like that pickup. If you're going to put him versus Jordan Hicks, he has Isaiah Simmons and Jordan Hicks. We'll just compare those two guys. Isaiah's got 15 right now. Jordan Hicks has got 10. They're both on the field.
Well, Hicks just got a sack, just like a play or two ago. So I'm sure that'll go up any second now.
Who did?
Jordan Hicks just got a sack like a couple plays ago.
Okay, so that'll probably pump it up to, I think, sacks 12 points? Either way, I just feel like Isaiah's on the field more than Jordan Hicks in terms of, like, pass plays and everything like that. He's in every single package. Jordan Hicks is more of your, 4-3-3-4 base package, nickel package. He's not going to be in too much of your dime or anything like that. So honestly, I'm going to lean a little bit Simmons in that area. Then
I forgot. Hang on, we got out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll just go back to the David Long, and I'll put it towards Diggs. I can't even go against Diggs. That guy's gonna make an interception every game, dude. He's definitely he's got the lean towards me. Like, I can't even question his talent at all.
Every game? That's impossible.
Has he not made a pick every game so far?
I'm just saying.
Has Diggs not made a pick every game so far?
I don't know.
Can anybody check?
Do you think he's going to do
Fake
it for
check?
16,
Well, I'm just
weeks?
saying I'm not going to go against him at this point. I feel like he's done it to this point.
He does have a pick in every game.
So, I mean, I can't go against that. Like,
I'd say he's due not to have one, but that's just an opinion.
Well, until he does that, I can't go against him.
You're right.
And then, honestly, I give Micah Hyde and Malcolm Jenkins, I give that a split. Honestly, they've both been playing out of their minds this whole entire year. And this brings me to make my pick. I think Hunter's going to end up winning the whole thing.
The whole
I
shebang.
Think his offense is just
the whole thing.
Well, I'm talking about the matchup. Jeez,
No, well, that's definitely not what it sounded like.
Okay, so now we're the only thing I'm talking about is focusing on the matchup in general, and then when I wrap up the whole matchup, the whole thing, and then you guys want to make it seem so big. But anyways, I think his offense is too good to overcome overall. I think he's going to end up being in a hole, and I don't think his defense can get him out of it.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I don't know if Eddie's winning the whole thing, but
Shut it! I didn't say Eddie.
No, I mean, I'm saying Eddie right now. I'm saying I don't know if he's winning the whole thing. I do like him this week though, but I'm still taking Eddie. I'm going Eddie with the upset this week. I think he's going to keep getting some big plays from Jones and Hicks here that might spring him tonight. I think Hicks definitely outplays Simmons. I think he just needs at least a sack from Chandler Jones tonight. Get a nice 20-30 piece from Chandler Jones, and he'll be sitting nice.
I could be wrong, but I think Two Girls One Cup has been tweeting every single tackle Jordan Hicks has made tonight, which is pretty awesome.
So Eddie is extremely active on Twitter. So
he is.
Shout out to Eddie.
His
Shout out to Eddie.
fantasy team's social media page is undefeated, in my opinion, out of everyone's so far.
Oh, the best in the LCC.
The best in the business.
It was in the grand scheme of things, I think the three, we replaced 3 teams this year, I believe, or maybe a little bit more, but pretty much every team we replaced this year has been replaced by really active and, Eddie's definitely by far the most active, but it's been replaced by some good owners, so it's been fun.
Yeah.
Eddie's got my vote to run the LCC Twitter page. I don't know who does that now.
It's kind of, I would love for him to help. It's just me and Mafali right now.
Yeah, I know. And it's tough, man. On Sundays, I just kind of want to watch the games. It's tough to really, because I do I'm so basic when I don't have any of those editing apps that Alex has, and I think you might have some, Pat, but I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So I just screenshot.
Hey.
If I edit anything, it's on Snapchat. So,
I was about to say, I appreciate all that you do. It's just been me for the most part. I've had a couple people help out here and there sparingly, but man, the more people we can get to run that account, I think the better it'll be and more entertaining it'll be. So if anyone wants to volunteer, and I'm not saying you got to do every single week or,
Eddie.
you know what I mean? If you just want to volunteer, once a month or whatever, you know what I mean? I'll take what I get, because no one's paying anyone to run that. So.
Yeah, right.
But cool. Did everyone make their pick? I don't think I made mine. I'm going Hunter though.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll Hunter as well. I'm gonna go opposite of Steve and say by the end of tonight, Simmons outscores Jones and Hicks.
Wow! What a surprise! What a surprise! If it's not a Clemson player,
Homer.
It's pretty much a lock. If they play for one of those 2 teams, that person's getting a pick this week, probably a tackle. They're probably getting married. They're probably gonna, win the lottery. A lot of things. They're gonna do everything great.
Yeah. It's mostly because I watch them more, so I know what they're about to do. But let's not forget, I predicted Minkah Fitzpatrick with a turnover for the week. So come on now, get off my nerves.
Jordan is actually 13-3 when picking turnovers every week. I've done no, I'm just kidding. I made that up.
Just roll with it. There's no way anybody would have checked that.
All right, we'll keep it moving. We already got a next matchup. We are almost an hour and a half in. We have got Mufasa Moneymakers versus bringing Rexy back. I know you talked about getting your first win. I hope you do because you deserve it. I know CJ, though, as bad as his team is, I think he kind of still wants to win his division, honestly. So I hope he does because he's still got a shot, especially with James Robinson, the way he's been playing as of late. So, and Seattle's defense has been garbage this year, I feel like. So, who's breaking this? Am I breaking this down?
I think it's on me.
Oh, you're breaking it down? There's no history between them, so.
All right. Yeah, I'll break it down. make sure this Moneymakers knows what's about to happen to him.
Cody, do a sound drop for Moneymakers.
You got a Moneymaker sound drop? Money, 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 money.
There you go.
That works.
That's a great one.
All right. So we lead off with the Moneymakers. He's starting Trevor Lawrence against the Seattle Seahawks. You know he's probably gonna have a breakout week because he went to Clemson, right?
Yeah, with that.
You got Jameis. I actually like this matchup. Jameis Winston against his former Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the first time he actually gets to go in against them as a starting quarterback. So I think Jameis will be in for a good day, just wanting to right a few wrongs. But so moving on, you got Jamal Williams against the Philadelphia Eagles, which not a huge fan of. I know the Moneymakers were mentioning him earlier as hopefully a breakout candidate for the week. You got James Robinson of that Jaguar offense going against those same Seahawks. And I actually like Robinson in this. Anytime the Jaguars do seem to get anything rolling on offense, it starts with being able to move a little bit with James Robinson. The Moneymakers do get a big shot in the arm getting Mr. Jerry Jeudy back this week. This is his first week back, correct, off the ankle injury?
Oh, yeah. He's still listed as injured, but he's back.
So, that could be a big get. I actually like him over Dallas Goedert starting on the other side. You get a premier number one receiver type talent and Jeudy coming back against a tight end. So I feel like that matchup heavily favors the Moneymakers. I wouldn't put it past Goddard to score a touchdown against Detroit. Just not too much further production from that. So a touchdown would really help from him. You got Charles Harris going against the Eagles as well. I don't know too much about Charles. I don't know too much about the Moneymakers' whole team just because the way he's played this whole thing out with trading and adding.
Yeah.
But
a lot of waiver wire guys.
Yeah, overall, he's not had a bad year. A few boom weeks, he scored 38. He's been in the 20s, a few weeks in the teens, so he is capable of putting up production. And then on the other side, you got Larry Ogunjobi of the Cincinnati Bengals going against the Jets. He's a defensive tackle, so not my favorite. He has had a few good. He's put up a 34 spot and a 40 spot this week, so he does have those huge weeks, and it is against one of the lesser offensive lines in the league and New York Jets, so maybe he does have one of those boom weeks. It's just, I feel it's hard for 2 weeks in a row for a tackle to do it, but it's possible. Straight out of Charlotte, that guy is, so shout out to him. Just no guys in the area, but Moneymaker starting Juwan Bentley at linebacker. That should just I don't want to say a homer start in a bad way, but like not many people I feel like would even know much about Juwan Bentley. But Steve, being a Pats fan, watching all the games, he knows what Bentley's about. He has had a 60 spot against the Cowboys, so when he's out there, he could do damage. So we'll see how he does. Who do y'all have this week? The Chargers. That's not a terrible matchup for him. I don't know what his snap counts are going to be like. But on the other side, we got CJ starting Bobby Okikere of the Baltimore Colts. What am I, like 85 years old?
Yeah.
Basically.
So you got Bobby Okikere against the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm over 72, and I feel great.
Yeah, that's how I felt. But he's had his moments. He's been in the 30s, had a 46 spot as his high of the season, coming off a poor performance against the 49ers, but could be for a better matchup against a run-heavy Tennessee Titan team. So not a bad matchup there. And then you got Lonnie Johnson starting at safety for the Moneymakers going against the LA Rams. Not too sure what he's been doing, but the Rams do like to throw the ball, so a safety could be in line for production. He's been in the 50s, almost touched 50 twice, but I just imagine that Texan defense is getting tested, and he's been one of the last line of defenses and doing well from a fantasy perspective. So we'll see how he can do. And then this one was actually mentioned by Cody in also Giant breakdown, but he mentioned anybody might want to go grab James Bradbury just from getting torched all game, be able to eat up tackles and stuff. And lo and behold, he's already owned by bringing Rexy back. So as Cody stated, I also think that's a good matchup of the week. Just from they're going to be sitting back in the zone, and guys like Tyreek Hill are going to catch their balls and get tackled, and that usually adds up. And the one guy Steve has playing right now, Darnell Savage, safety of the Green Bay Packers against the Cardinals. He has 5 points at halftime, so that is not a good look. And one of the main reasons I don't like him for this matchup, because I don't feel like he's going to finish with maybe even double digits. So that's not looking good for you right now, Steve. But on the flip side of this, he's starting Sean Chandler. I understand, and this is a Carolina Panther, so I know a little bit about this. Steve's going to call Homer on this or whatnot. I understand why he's starting him. He's had 2 huge weeks in a row, really, putting up 56 and 34, and he's actually tied for our team lead in tackles. But I'm not going to say go ahead and sit him right now, but this probably will be his last week of getting really any kind of production if it goes back to what it was. Just we're going to be activating Stephon Gilmore. We're activating Justin Burris, who started over him to begin with. So I just don't know what's going to happen to his snap count. And being buried on the depth chart before, I don't see him getting much play time when all these guys get back. So you might want to reevaluate the Sean Chandler. If not this week, the week after. I might even put in Damian Wilson, just knowing all those guys are going to be back. But, yeah, don't let me influence you too much. But that's where I would go on that breakdown. And after breaking it all down, I will go bringing Rexy back. And poor Steve drops to 0-8 on the season.
Oh, all that just to break his heart. Jeez, Jordan.
It's all good. I'm just going to make it quick. I'm not losing to CJ. Ain't no way. I don't care about Darnell
Ain't no
Savage.
way,
He can
CJ.
end with 5. He can end with 5. I'm still going to win. Moneymakers by 100.
Oh, dang. Wow.
He's a decent 2-5 team, in my opinion, too. Like.
Yeah, he
Well,
is.
he's about to be a decent 2-6 team.
That made me laugh way too hard. Well, hey, you know what? Lobatard Lobos, Alex is behind you. I don't know if you saw his tweet earlier, Mafale, but he said, oh man, hang on, I just missed it. Hang on, I just saw it. He said, normally we post about ourselves, but this week, all our content we're dedicating to the GOAT at Triple M, LCC. Mark my words, he will get his first win this week. Money bag, money bag, money bag.
Oh, we need
I appreciate that, but man,
no,
that's definitely got the pressure
drop
on
right
now.
Wrong.
Wrong. Oh man. All right, we're gonna move to our next. We got 3 more matchups, guys. I promise. We're gonna go under 2 hours.
Cody, you skipped Cody.
Skip. Oh, Cody, go ahead and get your pick in.
I'm just going to go real quick, and I'm going to go not Mufali.
Yep.
And Mufali done lost all his money makers because he's not making any money this year.
I got bond. I didn't get any money. I got like bonds, you know, like.
Oh man, yeah, I'm going. I don't know if I picked. I'm going Rexy. Sexy Rexy.
Wow, thanks, guys.
Sorry.
Appreciate it. You know, 0-8. I guess. You know, no, I understand it honestly.
Second clean
There's a little bit of.
No, Mufali picked himself, didn't he?
No, we're good. Let's keep it going though. Yeah, we are. I can't believe we're pushing 2 hours so far. So.
Yeah, this is a world record. Beg for G-Rag. Yeah. Beg for G-Rag versus Slapdicks here is our next matchup. I'm almost positive there's no history here between them. I'm going to double check, though, just to be sure. I'm wrong. They played each other week 4 of 2019. Beg for G-Rag won 294 to 268. So maybe some revenge here. I know Slapdicks. I'm sure Slapdicks doesn't want to go, 1-12 this year for one of the worst records in LCC history. But at the same time, I'm sure he wants an early pick because he's built for 2022 already. Am I breaking this one down, guys?
Yeah, it's on you.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. So here we go. Right now, Beg for G-Rag has 18 points from Buda Baker, and I'm working my backwards to forwards here on the app. We got Buda Baker versus L'Jarius Sneed going against the Giants. After that, this sounds like a terrible matchup, honestly. I know Sneed's had some good games, but I just can't imagine the Giants airing the ball out that successfully where Sneed does what he needs to do. Oh, that kind of rhymed. Sneed and need. But, yeah, Buda Baker's already off to a good start in the first half. Give me Buda there. Logan Ryan for Beg for G-Rag going against Levante David, who is questionable. He did return to practice, so my assumption is he'll be back. Playing against the Saints. It's a good matchup for David, actually. But Logan Ryan does have the Chiefs, which is a good matchup for him. I think they kind of cancel each other out, honestly, there. Then you got at linebacker Cole Holcomb for Beg for G-Rag, who's had a great year. He's actually a top 5 linebacker this year, going against Eric Wilson. We've seen good and we've seen bad, but it's mostly been bad here. And it's a terrible matchup against the Lions, so this is very, very obvious. I'm going Cole Holcomb there. Then at defensive line, you got Myles Garrett for Beg for G-Rag going against Chris Jones, who's also questionable. Didn't practice Thursday. That's not a good sign. He's only had maybe 6 tackles all year. Then Chris Jones, that is. So I'm going to go Myles Garrett, obviously, in that part. Cooper Kupp, a receiver, playing against Houston. Should be a big game. Going against Darnell Mooney. Mooney has been up and down, but, again, mostly down versus up. So I'm going Cooper Kupp there. And then you got Dalvin Cook going against Javon Williams. And Williams is a guy who is getting better week in and week out here the last 3 weeks. And maybe he has a good week against Washington. We'll see. But Dalvin Cook, who in the right mind is going to pick him over Dalvin Cook? So I'm going Dalvin Cook. He's playing against the Cowboys. Then a quarterback. At this point, it doesn't matter anymore because you probably tell who I'm picking here. But Josh Allen for Beg for G-Rag going against Taylor Heineke for Slapdicks. I'm going Josh Allen. This is a very clear win for Beg for G-Rag, in my opinion. Probably one of the bigger blowouts of the week.
Yeah, I was going to say this is probably the most lopsided matchup of the week. I'm taking Beg for G-Rag.
All right.
Yeah, that's easy. Slapdicks has his probably intentionally his best player on the bench, in Devin White. So, bold strategy. I get, obviously he's tanking, so probably just going for the good pick. And he's not in my situation where he has to worry about the longest losing streak ever. But I will tell him, it adds up quick. So, watch out. Watch out. He'll be in my position. But, I'm going Beg for G right here. This should be a blowout. So.
Mafala, you sound.
I'm gonna go with Beg for G-Rag too.
Mafala, you sounded like one of those guys who shows up to the AA meeting to the guy who's showing up to his first AA meeting. Is it, you don't end up like me, you better cut it out.
Right. Tankers Anonymous over here.
Right. But yeah, so that's, I guess, there you go. That's our picks for Beg for G-Rag versus Slapdicks. Next, we got Once a Janitor versus Abusement Park. Will Watson has surprised everyone, although he did inherit a pretty decent team that Jordan and I and even Hunter was a part of during the draft. We left Will a decent enough roster to get by with, and he's done good enough to make that team very relevant. Actually, not just relevant, was leading the division at one point. But is just trailing Cameron. So this is a must-win for them. They've never played each other, no history. Once the Janitors on a 3-game win streak, Abusement Park finally got a win last week after struggling a little bit. But at 4-3 and trying their best to get back into that divisional race. Who's doing this?
I don't know.
I'll do this one.
I think it's on Steve anyways.
Yep. Yeah, so, I do like, Once a Janitor's team. You guys did a great job drafting. I'm not even sure if anybody, other than Trey Lance, I'm pretty sure you guys drafted everybody in the starting lineup. So, you guys did a really nice job for him. So, credit to you guys for that. But we'll start with the quarterback, Trey Lance versus Kyler Murray. Obviously, if we were picking before the game, I would be heavily Kyler Murray. But seeing as how Kyler Murray has 5 points right now, Although he could easily end up with 30, but still, even 30 for Kyler is pretty low for his standards. So I think that matchup will actually be pretty close this week between those two guys. If Trey Lance even plays this week, I don't even know what goes on with the 49ers. But either way, whoever wants a janitor finds for quarterback should be able to get 20, 30, and I think he'll be able to keep pace with Kyler.
Kyler has 5 right now, by the way, with 28 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, so that that's not good, but it's Kyler Murray, so he's easily, like I said, he's easily capable of putting up a bunch of points here late in this game. But Randall Cobb just caught a touchdown, so shout out to the GOAT, Randall Cobb. Glad to see him still doing his thing. We're gonna go to running backs here though. DeAndre Swift versus Aaron Jones, who's also playing right now for Abusement Park. So this is a big game for him to, and Aaron Jones has 18, so that's pretty solid. Hopefully for him, maybe he can find the end zone so he can make up for some of this Kyler Murray slack. But DeAndre Swift, has been great all year. Not like a great matchup against Philly, but, more so they're good in the interior. And DeAndre Swift is so versatile that he can, you give him the ball anywhere and he can be effective. So, I think, Swift maybe and Jones is probably just a wash. You got Adam Thielen and CeeDee Lamb going against each other actually in, real life. Dallas play Minnesota. And again, both high-powered offenses. Both kind of the number 2s on their own team, but could be easily number 1s in any week. So I don't even know who I would go there. I want to lean CeeDee Lamb, but I heard that Michael Gallup could be back this week, and I'll be interested to see how the the offensive distribution goes now that they have a lot of weapons out there, especially adding Gallup to that already really good offense. So, and then you got your defensive tackles, Jerron Hargrave versus Jonathan Allen. Both have been really good this year. But I'm going to lean with Jerron Hargrave against Detroit, just like the matchup a little better. You got Demario Davis versus Foyesade. I'm going to lean with Demario Davis in that one slightly, but that's still pretty close. You got Jordan Poyer for once a janitor going against Cameron Curl for Abusement Park from Washington. I'm going to definitely take Poyer in that one. Poyer is definitely one of the better safeties in all of football. And then you got Kareem Jackson at safety for once a janitor, who has actually also been really, really good. Going against Justin Reed for Houston, who has been solid, but a little bit up and down. But either way, he's still pretty good. So it's a pretty close matchup. I'll lean Kareem Jackson. And I actually think once a janitor pulls out the win this week, just because of how the way Kyler Murray's looking right now. So it could change. We could end this episode finally after 3 hours, and Kyler Murray might have a lot of points. But as of right now, I'm going to lean with once a janitor to get the win.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with once a janitor, and mostly because of Kyler. And he can come out and get 30 out of nowhere, but he's still not in line for the 60 possible he could have had. So it's going to be.
Yeah, he's been averaging basically.
So I'll take once a janitor taken this week.
Yeah, I'm going with the upset too, once a janitor.
I also will go once a janitor. He's bringing the brooms tonight, boys.
You guys want to do
the
my draft next year?
I don't know if he's listening or not, but once a janitor, we were talking about Tua. He would be someone that could possibly go pick up Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, very good point, Jordan. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're almost done, guys. We're doing great. A minute 45 almost. In the last matchup, Burrow's body count versus the Steel Curtain. BBC versus the Steel Curtain, guys. This game, I've been kind of watching it on my phone just a little bit. But let me see if there's any history between you guys, actually. I don't think there is, but you never know. Yep, no history at all. So Cody lost last week. Burrow's body count won. Both 3 and 4. But I don't know. It's hard to say who has a better shot at the playoffs right now. But let's who's doing the breakdown?
I guess I can do it so Cody doesn't have to break down his own game. But Burrow starting out with his main man, Joey Burrow, going against the New York Jets. Love that matchup. Love his weapons. Should have a big day. Cody's in the boat kind of like Kyler. He's got Aaron Rodgers starting tonight against the Cardinals. So before this game, I would have thought like, oh, Rodgers goes off too, and that's a pretty close matchup. But into the third quarter, Rodgers has 11 points, so not quite as bad as Kyler's. Yeah, not quite as bad as Kyler's 5 points, but 11.
Is that 11?
Not something you want to have.
Is that 11 with that touchdown he just threw to Cobb like into account too?
Yeah,
or no?
with 11, yeah.
That's what it
Oh
said.
wow, yeah, geez, that's rough.
Yeah,
that's rough.
So yeah, not looking great. So hopefully, for both their sakes, these two quarterbacks can get it going in the second half. But then moving on, and that would sway me enough already early in the matchup to not want to pick Cody. But on the other side, what body count has going on, he decided. We talk about the stack all the time with quarterback and wide receiver, but how about the Arizona Cardinal running back stack tonight with James Conner and Chase Edmonds both being in the starting lineup for Burrow's body count. Bold move, Cotton. I'm going to go ahead and the game's not over, but I'm going to go ahead and say it did not pay off. Right now, he's got 10 points from Chase Edmonds and a whopping 1 point from James Conner. Or 3 points, excuse me, it updated.
Come on, yeah, 3, Jordan.
So 13 points total out of 2 running backs. That is not good. Like we said, there's still a whole nother half to go, so those numbers could be pumped up. But if those stay anywhere close to where they're at, that kind of negates Cody having a terrible day from Rodgers. But then, so after those 2 running backs flipping it over, Cody has Austin Eckler. I'm not sure about his injury designation. I do see questionable next to his name. But if he does go, it's Austin Eckler. I expect him to perform. PPR guy. Yeah, I like him.
Wrong defense, boy. Better think again.
Yeah, he's pretty good D in New England. I don't know what they're going to.
It's not the Panthers, you know.
But, and then going off of Chase Edmonds, Cody's flex is Mike Evans for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You like that. Evans with Tom Brady. One thing you might have to look out for, I don't know how serious he was. Mike Evans gave away Tom's 600th touchdown ball, and Tom made a pretty funny threat. He said it was on accident. Tom said he might accidentally not throw him any more touchdowns this year. So, but
Tom's funny, so
yeah. But I like Mike Evans.
Funny, haha.
Just 2 stacks on the board for Burrow. Going over to Jamar Chase starting at wide receiver. Love him against the Jets as well. He's gonna need a big day from those 2 after these running backs are done. But I do like him against the Jets. They suck. Flipping over, you got T.J. Watt starting DN for Cody. Like T.J. a lot. The Browns, they will get a couple people back, but their offensive line is really banged up. Not sure if Baker's playing or not, but even if he does, Baker's not going to be as mobile or willing to make extra things happen, I would say, with that shoulder, in my opinion. So I expect T.J. could make something shake. On the other side, you got Hassan Riddick. I think he does have a chance. I said it with Brian Burns on my team to get a sack or 2 just with how stationary Matt Ryan is. They don't have the greatest offensive line either. Jerome Baker starting for Cody at his first linebacker spot against the Buffalo Bills. This is a trade acquisition for you, right?
What?
Jerome Baker.
Yeah, I got him from Matt first.
So big start from Jerome. Cody's looking for big things. He's had a 42 spot and he's got him in 30s, so he hasn't quite given Cody. Cody hasn't had him, but he hasn't quite hit a ceiling that Cody's hoping he will hit. Then you got Nick Bolton for the Chiefs going against the Lions. The Chiefs' defense is trash, but I guess somebody does have to gobble up tackles, and for a couple weeks now it has been Nick Bolton pacing them for the most part in tackles, but that's just mostly people being at the second level constantly. So I like that matchup fantasy-wise. You got Kazir White going at the other linebacker spot for Cody, who is coming off a big last start against the Ravens with 52. He's been at 40 already this season. He's going against the Patriots. I think the way y'all's offense run, I'm directing this at Steve's y'all offense, but I think the way y'all's offense runs, a linebacker could be in for a big day.
Oh, yeah.
Running the ball, short to intermediate routes with Mac, so Kazir could have a big day in store. And right now, Burrow has Byron Murphy starting at his DB spot, who is starting tonight against the Packers. He is off to a pretty good start at 21 overall in the third quarter. So outscoring both his running backs, which good thing for him, but not so good for the team overall. So overall, the score with 2 running backs in a DB plan, he's got 35, and Cody has 11 from Rodgers. Terrible scenario for Rodgers, but with those 3 not taking advantage of that so far, I'm still leaning Cody on this. Assuming both of these offenses get going and Rodgers has to sling it a little more. And I'm going to pick Cody to get this win.
All right.
Yeah, I like that. I will say I'm looking at the game right now. The Cardinals did just get it down to the 1, so could be in store here for a touchdown for one of the running backs. But either way, yeah. I actually think, even though the Jets do suck, I think it's going to be a big Joe Mixon day. The Jets just statistically have been actually pretty good against the pass just because nobody's had to really pass it against them. And, yeah, James Conner just walked it in for a touchdown for Burrow, so that does help.
Yeah, that swings the tide.
It does a little bit, especially. But I think Rodgers goes down and drives here anyways. I don't think it's a big deal. Rodgers will end with a pretty good day.
Score, that score could be overall better for Cody just having a quarterback on the other side. But
yeah, but either way, like I said, I think this is not going to – I don't think this is going to be a huge week for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I think they can kind of just take a back seat this week, let Joe Mixon get going, let them do some other things with their offense against a bad team. And, I'm just going to give I think Steel Curtain gets the win this week.
All right. I'm going to Steel Curtain too. I was talked into it. I was persuaded. But no, I
liked my speaking skills.
I did. You spoke like a gentleman and a scholar. You blew me away, and I don't know. I wouldn't have picked him, Cody. Your team's garbage. No, I'm just kidding. No, I kind of did feel like Cody was going to win, honestly. I was just kind of screwing around, but yeah, I'm going Cody here.
Yeah, for me, hopefully Aaron Rodgers has another big day, and it's, I'm not too worried about that touchdown because it's only 6 points, and they didn't, it's not like it was ran to the goal line, so that kind of helps a little bit. But as long as people keep scoring, that means Aaron Rodgers is going to throw the ball, so I'm down for that right now. I'm going to pick myself because I'm always going to pick myself. I would never not pick myself because I'm the fucking man, and I'm going to win the goddamn match. That said.
All right. You heard it here first, everyone. Well, we are literally almost at 2 hours now, so I'm going to go ahead and cut us off here. Guys, it was great. It was long. It was deep. We cried. We sang. We laughed. We fought. We did it all. It all took place here on the Commissioners Clubhouse and the LCC network. We are looking forward to seeing.
Say we didn't break down their team.
God, no. No.
Honestly, probably the only one still listening would probably be Zach because he's in this matchup right now.
I don't even know if he listens to this podcast, honestly. So probably not.
Yeah, you're right.
So anyway.